In the sprawling sun-drenched landscape of Hollywood, some stories are more than just headlines. They become modern myths, tales of love, loss, and the search for happiness, all played out on a global stage. For over 3 decades, Brad Pitt has been more than a movie star. He's been the leading man in a real-life drama that has captivated millions. His life has been defined by stratospheric fame, groundbreaking roles, and 2 of the most scrutinized marriages in celebrity history. But as the actor crosses the threshold of his 60s, a new chapter seems to be unfolding. It's a chapter of quiet reflection, personal growth, and, according to persistent insider reports, a startling admission that cuts through decades of tabloid noise, pointing to a single, enduring truth about his heart. After 2 of the most famous marriages in Hollywood and a lifetime in the public eye, what if the great love of Brad Pitt's life was the one he let get away? As he turned 60, sources close to the star claim he's finally admitting the truth about the woman he will always consider his true soulmate. Now, to be clear, Pitt himself hasn't said this on the record, but a powerful narrative of regret has surfaced from a wave of insider reports. So, is this just wishful thinking, or is there something more to the story? To understand the weight of this alleged confession, we have to unravel the epic story of Brad Pitt's journey through love, a story of a golden couple, a world-shattering affair, and a long, painful road back to himself. Before he was a global icon, William Bradley Pitt was a kid from Springfield, Missouri, raised in a conservative household with a strong work ethic. His father managed a trucking company, and his mother was a family counselor, whirled away from the glitz of Hollywood. With his now famous charm and movie star good looks, he went to the University of Missouri to study journalism. But with just 2 weeks until graduation, he felt a different calling. He packed up his car, took the money he'd saved, and drove west to Los Angeles to chase the wild dream of becoming an actor. The early years were a struggle, filled with odd jobs including dressing as a giant chicken for El Palo Loco and small parts on shows like Dallas and Another World. But his talent and undeniable charisma were too bright to ignore. His breakout role in 1991's Thelma and Louise was a lightning bolt. Though on screen for just a few minutes, his swaggering performance as the seductive grifter JD was electrifying. A star was born. Hollywood took notice, and so did his co-stars. His early love life was a string of high-profile on-set romances. There was Juliette Lewis, his co-star in Too Young to Die, and California, an intense and unconventional relationship, given he was 27 and she was just 17 when they met. But it was his relationship with Gwyneth Paltrow that shot him into the realm of a true power couple. They met on the set of the dark thriller Seven in 1994 and became inseparable. They were the golden couple of the mid-90s, blonde, beautiful, and destined for greatness. They got engaged in 1996, but just as quickly as it ignited, the flame went out. They split in 1997, leaving everyone wondering if anyone could truly land Hollywood's most eligible bachelor. He was searching for something, a partner to ground him, someone who could handle the surreal pressures of fame by his side. He wouldn't have to wait long. In 1998, Brad Pitt's and Jennifer Aniston's agents set them up on a date. At the time, Aniston was America's sweetheart, the beloved Rachel Green, on the global phenomenon Friends. She was funny, relatable, and radiated a warmth that felt rare in Hollywood. Their connection was immediate. For a public tired of fleeting celebrity flings, their relationship felt different. It felt real. They were both at the top of their game, yet together, they seemed refreshingly normal. Their wedding in July 2000 was the stuff of Hollywood legend, a lavish private ceremony on a Malibu estate, complete with a gospel choir and fireworks. They became more than just a couple. They became an institution. Brad and Jen, they were the prom king and queen of Hollywood, and on every red carpet, their smiles radiated what seemed to be an effortless happiness. In interviews, they spoke of a deep comfort and understanding. Pitt once fondly joked about their easy intimacy, saying they were so comfortable they could fart and eat ice cream in bed. Aniston, for her part, talked about her vision for their future, revealing that while she wanted 2 or 3 kids, Brad hoped for a big family, maybe as many as 7. Their joint statement, announcing their separation in January 2005, insisted the split was the result of much thoughtful consideration and not because of tabloid speculation. They said they remained committed and caring friends. But behind the carefully worded press release, a story was brewing that would ignite one of the biggest media firestorms in modern history. The public was about to be forced to choose a side, because a third person had just entered the narrative. Her name was Angelina Jolie. In 2003, while still married to Aniston, Brad Pitt began work on an action comedy called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. His co-star was Angelina Jolie, an actress known for her Oscar-winning talent, her edgy persona, and her captivating intensity. The film's premise was a married couple discovering they are both assassins hired to kill each other. The on-screen chemistry was supposed to be explosive. What happened off-screen, however, would prove far more consequential. From the start, rumors of an undeniable chemistry between Pitt and Jolie swirled around the set. Jolie later admitted that they fell in love on that set, though she insisted nothing physical happened while he was still with Aniston. She described it as a strange friendship and partnership that blossomed into something more by the end of the shoot. For Jennifer Aniston, at home, the whispers must have been deafening. The eventual promotional tour for the film felt like a public unveiling of their connection. A now infamous W magazine photo shoot titled Domestic Bliss featured Pitt and Jolie posing as a 1960s-style family with a brood of children. For Aniston, who had spoken of her own desires for a family, the images were a gut punch. She would later say in an interview that there was a sensitivity chip that's missing when it came to Pitt's choice to do the shoot. The public narrative became a tidal wave. Had he cheated? Was it an emotional affair, a physical one, or both? The story was too juicy to resist, and soon the world was divided. You were either Team Aniston, the relatable wronged wife, for Team Jolie, the magnetic, enigmatic siren. It was a story that reduced to complex relationships to a simple black and white drama. The announcement of Brad and Jen's separation in early 2005 was just the beginning. Their divorce was finalized that October, but the cultural debate raged on. Jennifer Aniston became a symbol of grace under pressure. Her legendary 2005 Vanity Fair interview saw her navigate the heartbreak with a mix of vulnerability and strength that endeared her to millions. She admitted to being hurt but refused to be a victim. "I will love him for the rest of my life," she said of Pitt. "He's a fantastic man." Brad Pitt, meanwhile, quickly and publicly moved on with Angelina Jolie. Photos of them on a beach in Kenya with her adopted son, Maddox, seemed to confirm everything the public suspected. The image of him as a devoted family man was now a stark contrast to the life he'd left behind. Years later, Pitt would express a level of regret about how things ended. In a 2011 Parade magazine interview, he caused another firestorm by suggesting he wasn't living an interesting life with Aniston and was pretending the marriage was something it wasn't. The backlash was swift. He quickly issued a clarification, stating that the fault was his own, not Jennifer's. "Jen is an incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman who remains my friend," he said. Sources would later claim that Pitt wished he had handled the end of their marriage in a more thoughtful manner and that he had asked for her forgiveness long ago, which she gave, but by then, he was deep into a new life, one that would redefine him completely. He was no longer just Brad. He was the first half of Brangelina. The union of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie was more than a Hollywood romance. It was a global phenomenon. They weren't just a couple, they were a brand. A force. Brangelina represented a new kind of celebrity power, focused not just on red carpets but on global activism and building a large, multicultural family. Their family grew rapidly. Pitt adopted Jolie's children, Maddox and Zahara, and together they had their first biological child, Shiloh, in 2006. They went on to adopt Pax from Vietnam and then welcomed twins, Knox and Vivian, in 2008. Their rainbow family became a source of endless public fascination. They traveled the world, using their fame to shine a light on humanitarian crises. For a decade, they were arguably the most famous couple on the planet. In August 2014, after nearly 10 years together, they finally married in a quiet ceremony. At their French estate, Chateau Miraval, it seemed to be the final, perfect piece of their epic story. This relationship was fundamentally different from the one he'd had with Aniston. His life with Jolie was an international whirlwind of filmmaking, humanitarian work, and raising 6 children. He had seemingly found the interesting life he once felt he was missing. But even the most powerful empires can crumble. In September 2016, the world was stunned. Angelina Jolie had filed for divorce from Brad Pitt. The dream was over. What followed was not a quiet separation but a brutal and protracted legal war that would drag on for years, though a settlement was reportedly reached in late 2024. The intervening years were filled with ugly accusations and bitter court battles, primarily over the custody of their children and their shared winery, Chateau Miraval. The breaking point was an infamous incident on a private flight from France to Los Angeles. Allegations emerged that an intoxicated Pitt had become verbally and physically abusive toward Jolie and at least one of their children. The FBI and Child Services investigated the claims, but no criminal charges were filed. Pitt has consistently denied the allegations. But the damage was done. The idyllic image of their family was shattered. The divorce took a heavy toll on Pitt. In a candid 2017 interview with GQ, he opened up about his struggles with alcohol, admitting he had been drinking too much and was now committed to sobriety and therapy. It was a raw confession from a man who had always projected cool control. He spoke of the divorce with sorrow, stating, "No one wins in court, it's just a matter of who gets hurt worse." The conflict became so acrimonious that unconfirmed reports surfaced that some of their children were dropping Pitt from their surnames, with Shiloh being the first to do so legally in 2024, in the years after his split from Angelina Jolie. Brad Pitt underwent a profound transformation. The swaggering movie star began to recede, replaced by a quieter, more introspective man. He threw himself into new passions, like sculpture, and continued his journey in sobriety. His public appearances became less frequent as he seemed to choose a more peaceful existence. That it was in this new calmer phase that a new relationship quietly blossomed. In late 2022, he began dating Ines de Ramon, a jewelry executive. Their relationship has been notably different from his past marriages, low-key and seemingly dry. Sources say she has been a grounding force for him, though the same sources suggest he may be hesitant to marry again. This new relationship seems to signify a desire for stability over the spectacle that defined his previous romances. This is the Brad Pitt who turned 60, a man who has survived the heights of fame and the depths of public scandal, a man who has found sobriety, art, and a quiet love. But as he settled into this new chapter, the ghost of his first great love began to re-emerge, sparking a wave of nostalgia and a powerful, persistent rumor, as both Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston found themselves single again in the late 2010s. From Jolie, she, after her amicable split from actor Justin Theroux, public's fascination with their story reignited. Then, small but meaningful moments started happening. In 2019, the internet went wild when Pitt made an appearance at Aniston's 50th birthday party. Then came the 2020 Screen Actors Guild Awards. The moment was captured in a series of photos that went viral instantly. Backstage, after they had both won awards, they were seen congratulating each other. One photo showed Pitt gently holding her wrist as she walked away. Another showed him stopping everything to watch her acceptance speech on a monitor with a look of pure pride. It was a fleeting interaction, but it was electric. They followed this with a virtual table read of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where their flirty reading of a scene had fellow Alistairs laughing. The chemistry was still there. They were, as Aniston put it, buddies. They were two people with a complicated history who had found their way back to a place of mutual respect and affection. These moments of reconnection laid the groundwork for the ultimate Hollywood rumor. This is where the story takes its most dramatic turn. It must be stated clearly, Brad Pitt has not made any public and the record statement declaring Jennifer Aniston as the one that got away. However, for years, anonymous sources have been feeding a different story to the press. According to numerous insider reports, as Pitt has grown more introspective, he's come to see leaving Aniston as one of the biggest mistakes of his life. One report claimed that Pitt realized leaving Jen for Angelina was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. The source added, and while he's not in love with Jen, he realizes how much he does love her. Brad keeps telling friends that he's seeing everything more clearly. This narrative suggests that the tumultuous decade with Jolie, the global fame, the massive family, and the bitter divorce has cast his first marriage in a new light. The alleged confession isn't about rekindling a romance. Both have moved on, and Brad is in a serious relationship. Instead, the story these insiders tell is one of profound, latent life realization. It's about looking back and recognizing that the comfort and uncomplicated joy he shared with Aniston was something precious and perhaps irreplaceable. The rumor suggests that for Pitt, Aniston represents a time before things became so incredibly complicated. She was the person he could fart and eat ice cream in bed with. Whether these claims are true or just public wishful thinking is impossible to verify. But the power of this story lies in what it represents, a deeply human tale of regret and the romantic idea that your first great love forever holds a piece of your heart. Brad Pitt's life has been a journey of constant evolution, from charming heartthrob to global icon to the reflective, sober artist of today. He has experienced the highest highs of public adoration and the lowest lows of personal humiliation. The enduring narrative of his regret over leaving Jennifer Aniston, whether fact or fiction, speaks to the powerful hold their story has on our collective imagination. It's a story that reminds us that even for the biggest stars, life is a series of choices, and every choice has consequences that can echo for decades. As Pitt navigates his 60s with a new partner and a new sense of peace, the question of what if will likely always linger. The story of his rumored admission may never be confirmed by the man himself, but it has become a poignant coda to one of Hollywood's most unforgettable love stories, a reminder that sometimes the most profound truths are the ones we only understand with a lifetime of experience. What do you think? Is the story of Brad's regret just wishful thinking from fans? Or do you believe there's truth to the idea that Jennifer Aniston will always be the one that got away? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories on your favorite stars. Thanks for watching.